Hey guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here, and welcome again to another statue review. And this time around, we're going to review one of my most anticipated pieces of 2023, the Flash Maquette by Tweeterhead. First, we need to look at the packaging. Here we have the front of the box. You have an image of the statue of Flash. Also, at the bottom, you can see the logo of Tweeterhead and DC Comics. At the back of the box, you only see the title of the character, some lightning as a design, the red and all of that. At the bottom, you see the logo of Tweeterhead. At the left and right side of the box, you only see a lightning bolt. There's nothing else. At the top of the box, you only see the name of the character. At the bottom of the box, you see the logo of DC Comics, some legal lettering there, and also a barcode. This is not a huge box, it's a medium-sized box, and for that I'm grateful because I am running out of space. All right, guys, now we're looking at the statue, and I'm telling you, this maquette is impressive. It is impressive. It was impressive from the moment that it was showcased, the art design, the concept, and the prototype. I was already sold on the concept. I know it created a little bit of division because some people said that this was too muscular for the character. And I know I can agree on that. I think this 2.0 line from Tweeterhead, the Superpowers 2.0, I think is totally different from the original. But when I'm looking at the piece, I am impressed. It represents the art of Guillermo Barbiero, who is the sculptor here. Also, we have David Igo as the designer. And there's other people involved in the whole process at Tweeterhead. And I will say that they have done a fantastic job. They have brought to life what they wanted to do. Another concern that I had initially was the paint job, because they have the classic color, the red, which is this one. This is the exclusive. And also they have a modern version, which is a more deeper red, and the deeper red look more, they had more detail, it seemed, with the shading. You can see the musculature and all that on the photos, because some colors are hard to bring some of the detail, particularly red and yellow. And when you have a very bright red on camera, you can lose some of the detail easily. But in person, I will tell you, there is enough shading on this piece, which I'm very, very glad. I'm satisfied that it is there. Now, when looking at the base, there's a lot of detail, which I'm super glad that they went with this route. The eyes, of course, this is the representation of Captain Cold. These boomerangs are kind of cool. There's, there's two, and you'll have to insert in there. That's all you have to do. There's no magnets for that process. Now, if there's one thing that I'm not a fan of, is the lightning bolts. It recreates the effect that he just coming from running and he's stopping there still. It's something that you normally would see Flash doing. So it's a second of time. It's just a moment in time where everything stops and he's just posing. But the lightning bolt represents his power, the speed force. I wish it was clear resin instead of this resin that has been painted, and he has some different shadings of yellow and all that, and even some red in it. But I'm not necessarily a fan, and that's something that I would say the same happens with Black Adam. I'm not a fan of those lightning bolts and the way they did it. I think other companies are doing a better job with doing this. They could even have done with maybe some clear plastic or PVC that they can use just to do that effect, and it will look much better. Now, the newspaper there is really, really cool. Now, this actually goes with a peg. So I thought it would be like a magnet, but it doesn't have a magnet. You just have to insert it. You have to press, apply some force to it. It says Crisis, and he has the photo of Captain Cold, the rogues on the run, things like that, which is cool. It's a really nice concept. It's attention to detail there. Now, the piece is secure with a peg on this foot, goes down, of course, and it's secure there. This one doesn't have it, which I'm glad, because when you have two different pegs, it can cause a problem where one will break in an accident or something falls or whatever. So it's safer this way. So I'm glad with that. However, my problem that I have with this one is that it's not as secure as I wanted it to be. As you can see, it's not tight, so it rocks. So when you're moving this piece, if you want to move it, then you have a problem where it may rock, it may fall, it may break. So you got to be very careful when you're moving this. This is something that doesn't happen with Superman. Superman, it's very secure, very safe. It doesn't rock at all. They did a fantastic job at the factory putting it together. Here, I think that they should make the peg wider, so when it sits firmly. Now, another thing that I want to point out that I did mention on Facebook is that there is no manual for this piece, which in my opinion should have been provided, because all these little pieces to assemble all these lightnings and all of this, you have to figure it out. So I have to go to the website to look at other people's pictures or to look at the stock photos to kind of have an idea how to put it together, because there's no way to do it. And it's a bit confusing because there's a few holes to insert things and it doesn't specify, it doesn't explain how to do it. Now the piece is great in so many different areas. I like the paint job. I do like the eyes. I think the eyes are fantastically painted, better than in Superman. In some areas, the paint is not as clean. Like even on the, you can see on the lightning bolt on his custom, on this case on his symbol, it's not as straight. You have to be up close to really look at those mishaps. I'm okay with that. My problem is when you look at the one here on the nose, there is a chip. It seems that the paint was peeled off or something scraped it when they were inserted into the box. Perhaps at the factory, it scraped it. They didn't notice it. When it came into quality control, they also didn't notice. So ultimately it came like that. I don't have a problem with this if it was, I wouldn't have a problem with a chip if it was somewhere else, but it is in the face, something that is visible. And to me, that is a big no-no. So I already sent a request for replacement to Tweeterhead, waiting for their reply. Of course, I sent it early. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, now it is comparison time. And first we have it right next to the Master Race Batman by Andy Kubert. And this, of course, was produced by DC Direct, DC Collectibles. Fantastic piece. Now, for reference, for those who care about measurements, you're looking at the height. If you're looking at the metric system, the statue measures, just flash, not talking about the base and all of that, 36 centimeters, which is 14.17 inches tall. If you do the math to 1/6, he is 2.16 meters tall or 7.8 feet tall. He's a giant. And that is not the accurate measurement of Flash, because actually Flash, if you go to the DC Encyclopedia, he is 6 feet tall. So he has a good height, but he's not super tall. So we're doing the proper scaling here. If this was a true 1/6, then definitely would be shorter than this Batman, because this Batman is almost 13 inches tall, which is accurate with the height of Batman in the comics. He's taller than the Flash. So they are not using the 1/6 scale here, even though they have always claimed that they do through 1/6 scale. That's something that you can apply to the Superpowers line, or the original Superpowers line. This is above that scale, and they still promote it as a 1/6. They should change that, because this is close to 1/5. It is only short half a centimeter, less than a quarter of an inch. So this is definitely something that they need to address, because there's a lot of collectors right now that they are disappointed. They're getting disappointed when they get in this piece, thinking that they're going to be able to display it right next to the old Superpowers line or right next to anything else. Now, another comparison with another DC Collectibles piece, you have this Flash based on the art of Francis Manapul. I love this Flash, it's really good. This is a very underappreciated piece. It's not a huge piece, but I love how good it is. You can find it for cheap if you're looking for something to display with your 1/6 scale collection. Now, this is the way you need to display this Flash. There's no other way around it. This is the piece. You can perhaps use some XM Studios. Perhaps you can still use some of the Superpowers, the original Superpowers line. You would have to kind of play around, move some things around, raise some things higher, things like that, put one in the background. All of those effects are visual, optical effects that sometimes we do in order to make things look better. You could do that. But the way you want to display this is with the Superpowers 2.0 line. That is the intention here, and I think that is what you need to stick with. If you're not prepared for that, then unfortunately you would have to move on. You need to move on into something else. But if you're already committed, if you want to grow with this new line or this new revision, then by all means, I think this is the way to go. They look perfect together. As you can see, Superman, I am anticipating Green Lantern. I think it's coming perhaps at the end of this month or perhaps next month. That's what they have said. I'm just waiting for that as well. So I'm excited for that piece as well. I'm excited for this collection. It's growing amazingly. Love the art, love the concept. I think it's popular. For example, one thing that I noticed is that mine is supposed to be 81, or the shipper box says it's 81 out of 380. But the bottom of the base says that this is 81 out of 450. I know at Sideshow it says that they only have 400 on the exclusive, so I don't know how many exclusives have been made. I know that companies sometimes do more than just that. They do also artist proofs, all of that, in order to catered to some of the exchanges and things like that, and sometimes to give away to some of the people that work in the process. All of that, they always have some extras just in case. Even though this has been promoted as a Barry Allen style, it could even be used if you are a fan of Wally West, because many people grew up with Wally West. He was the Flash for many, many years, from the late 80s all the way to mid 2000s. So he is the Flash for many. And to be honest, during his time, during his tenure as the Flash, a lot of artists, they depicted more muscular. So to me, this looks more like Wally West. Now, my final thoughts, I would say this is a fantastic piece. I would recommend the classic more than the modern. I think that red is really nice. On camera, perhaps you don't see as much of the shading, but in person, it looks really good. And I like everything, the musculature, it really looks really nice. So definitely, I recommend it if you get the chance to own it. Yes, it's expensive, but if you want to get into this collection, then definitely you're getting a good value for your money in comparison to other companies and what they're doing right now. But what is your opinion, my friends? What do you think about this piece? Are you a fan? You already got yours? Do you have any problems with it? Anything that you disagree with my opinion? How you feel about what Tweeterhead is doing? Do you think Tweeterhead needs to actually adjust the way they sell in this scale and go and start saying that it's a 1/5 instead of 1/6 just to avoid future misunderstandings? Let me know in the comments below. So once again, my friends, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button to be reminded of the next video. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The links are down below. And please consider supporting the channel financially through Patreon. My friends, God bless you. Take care. I will talk to you again. Bye-bye.